Okay, something brand new that I'm going to be doing at the Big D Zone. I've wanted to do this since forever, every time March Madness has come around, but I never gotten the chance, and I've always missed the brackets because by the time I got to do them, the games at their respectable places, and then the Sweet 16 and the Final Four already happened, and so. Not this time. Because Selection Show was happening, the guest happened yesterday in the midst of the craziest month ever. Yeah. And but before we go to March Madness, I just want to get something off my chest. I just moved back to Houston on March 1st. I've already got medical gaslighted by the doctor. And then on top around, turn around, I've already got disrespected by the person because I had two letters. One of them is the voter registration, so I could change my voter registration. Problem is here in Texas, you still, even though you could go online and do the form, you still have to physically mail the voter registration form. I mean, that's good for people that can go out to a mailbox. But what if somebody like me who can't go to a mailbox and then find out that the only closest mailbox is where you at, and you can't even see where a mailbox is like located close by you, so you could drop off the damn letter or letters. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. For one small incident, you have to wait 3 days after you fill out some complaint form saying that they never got your mail. 3 days that you had to wait for one day incident, and the flag was up. The red flag was up too. This is a total disgrace. I mean, twice disrespected at the ER on March 6th, East Houston Hospital and Clinic by some idiot doctor who told me I couldn't go to the ER unless I was dying, and then I only had heartburn after being there since up until 7 or 8 o'clock that night or whatever the hell I left until, and then today when my two letters didn't get out there. Shoot, I'm trying to change my address to vote. Doggone it! Seriously, I've already missed Super Tuesday already. I mean, this is ridiculous. Absolutely insane. All right, let's get to March Madness, and it's for far as what I tell, Super Tuesday have been crazy. Now I'm using the brackets from ESPN, and this is the way that I could do it online. So UConn, University of Connecticut, and is back on the play, and they're going to be playing Staten. I never heard of that school, but I'm going to pick UConn. Yeah, I'm going to be picking UConn. And then, whoa. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to pick the UConn. This is in the East, by the way. Uh, FAU versus Northwestern. And, well, I heard that both two teams have been playing good within the college season. So I don't know. I want to say that because some people bracket have been busted in the same week at the first part of the tournament, and I think this tournament is going to be happening. Oh wow. Uh, okay, but anyway, wow. But anyway, if you heard the selection show on CBS, you'll probably be knowing where the different uh the rounds of 32 we're going to be at after the round of 64. But this is going to be a very difficult pick for me. I've never been inside this situation. I always have a double down, but obviously I can't have a double down when I'm picking my bracket. So I think I'm gonna be picking FAU to face the winner of the UConn Staten match. Okay, San Diego versus UAB. Yeah, San Diego State versus UAB. This is another difficult matchup, and I'm gonna pick the experienced one. I'm gonna pick UAB over San Diego on this one on my bracket. So that's what's gonna happen there. Auburn versus Yale. Okay, I heard Auburn has a good basketball team, so I'm gonna pick Auburn to beat Yale. Uh, BYU versus Decoy, and I'm gonna pick BYU. I have a feeling about BYU. Okay, Illinois versus Morehead State. Now this is Morehead State's very first NCAA in some years. So you know what? I'm actually going to pick Morehead State, but Illinois they also have a good basketball team. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick Morehead. Yeah, that's my pick. Okay, Washington State versus Duke. Okay, Duke has a history of being in the NCAA in the tournament. Washington State, not so much. They've been in and out and stuff like that. So I'm picking Duke. I'm picking the Blue Devils. Okay, Iowa State versus Saint South Dakota State. Wow, Iowa versus South Dakota. That's gonna be something. But you know what? I'm gonna pick Iowa. Iowa. There you go. All right, in the West, we have North Carolina versus Howag. I guess it was like two separate universities, but I don't know how that happened. But I'm going to pick North Carolina. Yeah. Mississippi State versus Michigan State. Wow, that could be an even matchup, to say the least. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick Michigan State and hope for the best. So I'm going to pick Michigan State right there. All right. St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon. Oh, wow. Wow. St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon, and we're in the, I think we're in the West. So I know nothing about St. Mary's, but I do know about Grand Canyon because I was looking into that school a couple of years. But then now they don't have the major that I'm looking for. But I'm still going to go with Grand Canyon over St. Mary's. All right. Oh, I know Alabama is a football school, but now they're in basketball. And Alabama versus Charleston. Yeah, I can't go. I can't go against the Crimson Tide. I mean, I might get my head chopped off for doing that. So I'm going to go Alabama on that one. All right. Uh, oh, Clemson. Clemson is facing New Mexico. How do you like that? But you know what? I'm going Clemson. I had a problem with New Mexico as far as with my transcript is concerned, so I'm going Clemson. Baylor versus Colgate. I know Colgate. I don't know too much about Baylor, but I'm pretty sure they have a good basketball team. But I'm going to go Colgate on this one. Yeah. Okay. Dayton versus Nevada. I know nothing about these schools, but and Dayton is the 7th seed and Nevada is the 10th seed. I'm going Dayton. Okay. Oh! Here's another team that I was looking at, the University of Arizona, but they have University of Arizona Global Campus versus Long Beach State. I'm going there. I'm going Arizona. I'm definitely going Arizona. No doubt about that. Arizona. In the South, all right. We got a hometown situation. Houston versus Longwood. I'm going with Houston, and Houston is the 1 seed in the South. Yeah, Houston is the one seed in the South. Matter of fact, let me go back and tell you which one is the one seed from the West. It's North Carolina. That's the one seed from the West. And then in the East, yeah, the East, the one seed is UConn. So there you go. I forgot to mention the one seed. But anyway, so I picked Houston. That's a hometown situation. Now you got another home team situation. Texas is definitely spreading itself around in the NCAA. Uh, Nebraska is facing Texas A&M. Even though they're the eighth and ninth seed, I'm going with Texas A&M because of the hometown situation. All right. Wisconsin versus James Madison. Yeah, James Madison University. I think I'm going to go with Wisconsin, the fifth seed there. All right. There's another Duke here. Okay. Duke versus Vermont. I'm going with Duke on this one. I'm going with the fourth seed. I mean, no. Yeah, there we go. I'm going with Duke. I almost made a long shot there. Fourth seed for over the 13th seed, but things have been happening in the past few years. Let me tell you that. Wow. Oh my God. This is going to be a difficult thing to pick. Texas Tech, the number 6 seed versus NC State. Yeah. Isn't that home of Michael Jordan? Isn't it? NC State? I'm kind of in the vine here. You got Texas Tech and NC State. I don't know. Texas Tech might have gotten into a hot streak over here. Wow. You know what? I'm going with Texas Tech. And if I had to bite the bullet, I'll bite the bullet. Whatever. All right. And this is something new on a Big D Zone anyway. Kentucky versus Oakland. I know it's Kentucky. I don't know Oakland, so I'm going with Kentucky. There you go. Florida versus BOS and then Colorado. Wow. Here's again with the two teams. I'm going to go with the Gators. I'm going to go with the Florida Gators. Manatee versus Western Kentucky. I don't know about Marquette, but I am going with Western Kentucky. So I'll do that. That's my pick. Another school that I was getting into, Purdue Global University. Here comes another two teams, MTST and Graham. I'm going with Purdue. Purdue is the number 1 seed in the Midwest. We're in the Midwest territory now. Utah State and a Christian school is on. Utah State, another Christian school is on there. Utah State versus TCU. I'm going with TCU. I'm definitely going with TCU on that one. Gonzala versus McNee. I have to go with Gonzala. I have to go with that. All right. Kansas versus Stanford. Now, this is Stanford's first run on the NCAA. So, I'm going to have to pick Kansas, the number 4 seed. I'm going to have to pick Kansas. South Carolina versus Oregon. I'm going to go with South Carolina on that one. And I'm doing a pick as I've saying it on the air. Creighton versus Acton. And I was going to look at Acton, but Creighton is the 3rd seed. Whoa, how did that happen? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pick the 3rd seed. All right. Again, another Texas school has made it into the into the team of 64. What is going on? Anyway, UVA and CSU, and then this is all these two teams going in. I don't know how the heck they worked this out, but I'm gonna have to go with Texas. Yeah, that's my pick. Tennessee versus St. Peter's. And St. Peter was another school that I actually did get into. So, you know what? I'm going to pick St. Peter's. I'm going to pick the Peacocks. There you go. All right. Now, uh, okay. The round of 32 I had to pick now. So the round of 32 was UConn versus FAU. I don't think there's not going to be an upset with UConn. I mean, they've been in they have experience winning this back to back, and there's no. I don't think there's UConn is going to have no problem with the FAUs. I'm going to pick UConn as being part of the Sweet 16 dance. Okay, UAB versus Auburn. I think Auburn is going to be a part of the Sweet 16. So that's my next move there. BYU versus Morehead State. I think BYU, even though Morehead State's going to be their first time, but I think BYU is going to knock out Morehead State. I'm going to pick BYU to go to the Sweet 16. Duke versus Iowa State. I'm going to pick Duke. No. Iowa State is the 2 seed, but things happened before, like I said. I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick Duke over Iowa State. See what happened there. In the West, North Carolina. This is the round of 32. Now I'm talking about North Carolina versus Michigan State. I think I'm going to pick North Carolina over Michigan State to go to the Sweet 16. Grand Canyon over Alabama. This is going to be a difficult pick. I think what's going to happen is Alabama's going to beat Grand Canyon, and they're going to go to the Sweet 16. All right. Clemson versus Colgate. I think Clemson is going to beat Colgate and go to the Sweet 16. Dayton versus Arizona. I believe that Arizona is going to be into the Sweet 16. All right. In the South, you got Houston versus Texas A&M, the battle of the Lone Star State in the round of 32. I'm going to have to give it up to Houston to advance to the Sweet 16. Wisconsin versus Duke. The other Duke is going to be in the Sweet 16. All right. Texas Tech versus Kentucky. The number 6 seed versus the number 3 seed. I think Kentucky is going to have a good night over Texas Tech. All right. Florida versus Western Kentucky. I'm going to pick the Gators to go to the Sweet 16. All right. This is the Midwest. Another difficult situation. Got Purdue facing TCU. Okay. Much as I like the Christian schools, I think I'm going to pick Purdue. Yeah. I'm going to pick Purdue going into the Sweet 16. Gonzala versus Kansas. I think this is going to be Kansas' run, so I'm going to pick Kansas over Gonzala. All right. South Carolina versus Creighton. I'm going to pick South Carolina. All right. Texas versus St. Peter's. I'm going to pick St. Peter's going to the Sweet 16. So there you go. Now we're in the Sweet 16, and we're starting with the East with UConn versus Auburn. UConn is going to go to the Elite Eight, so I'm going to pick UConn. BYU versus Duke. I'm going to pick BYU over the first Duke. Okay. North Carolina, which is the number 1 seed in the West, will be facing Alabama if this goes well. This is going to be hard. Wow. I'm going to say North Carolina. Yeah. Clemson versus Arizona. I'm picking Arizona for the Elite Eight. All right. Houston versus Duke. I'm picking, and this is the South. Houston versus Duke. I'm picking Houston to go to the Elite Eight. Kentucky versus the Florida Gators. Now we're talking about some serious game time over here. I'm going to be picking Kentucky over the Gators. All right. Midwest. Now again, this is the first time I did this at a show. And why don't my batteries go up when I clean this phone all day? But anyway, Purdue versus Kansas. Number one in the Midwest is Purdue. I'm picking Purdue to go to the Elite Eight. South Carolina versus St. Peter's. All right. Wow, I'm going to pick St. Peter's to move on to the Elite Eight. All right, so now it's the Elite Eight. This is the road to the Final Four. This will be the team that will go into the Final Four. All right. UConn, BYU. I think UConn will advance to the Final Four. North Carolina versus Arizona in the West. I think Arizona is going to have a good night, and they will take down North Carolina, and then they will go on to the Final Four. Houston versus Kentucky in the South. I'm going to pick Houston to go to the Final Four. All right, Purdue versus St. Peter's in the Midwest. This is really difficult. These are both both schools that I wanted to go into. Okay. I think St. Peter is going to be a Cinderella story. Yeah. I'm going to pick St. Peter's to be the Cinderella story and go to the Final Four. All right, so here we are on the Final Four. We got UConn versus Arizona. You got Houston versus St. Peter's, and the most difficult pick that I ever picked, even when I do the NFL pickup. Okay. I think UConn is going to go to the national championship again. So I'm going to pick UConn. I'm going to pick UConn. Then, now is the battle of the two teams. Well, one that I'm not going into, the other one I have been accepted to, Houston versus St. Peter's. Okay. You know what? I'm actually going to pick St. Peter's. I know I'm biased because I got accepted into that school. And oh, wow. UConn versus St. Peter's. All right. This is going to be a difficult pick. This is to win the national championship. Now, I know UConn is a good basketball team, and Beacocks off and on have been a good basketball team. But I think UConn is going to be the champions for another year. So I'm going to pick UConn, the national champions. Okay? And it says how many total points will be scored in the championship game. I don't know how many points, but I'm going to say probably, just to be modest, I'm going to say 25 points. That's my guess. Yeah, I'm going to say 25 points will be the game and there. So I am going to submit brackets. Now, I don't know. I know they had the female brackets. I haven't even seen anything with the brackets here. Yeah, and I did pick UConn for the. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna fill this out later, but there are my men's 2024 pick NCAA. And if I find the women, I will do that too. So there you go.